Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mitchell's Childhood Memories, Episode 7. Today I'm going to give a title to this episode, and that is Digging a Hole to China. So you should be interested in this one. Um, as I've mentioned previously, I lived in the Boulevard Housing Projects in Brooklyn, and there were actually a lot of green spaces within the projects. I talked about the big circle, big, beautiful green grass, um, very large area. And there were smaller areas around each building, on the sides and in the back. Lots of green spaces. Unfortunately, these were all no-go zones for children. There was a chain fence around all of them, and warning us not to go on. And if we did go on, we could get chased, and even our parents could get a fine from the maintenance men who were like the local police, you can say, of the projects. Um, so we had to make use of the areas other than that. So we played sometimes in the schoolyard, and sometimes we played in the area I would call the little circle. It was a little concrete area, and in it there was some interesting gadgets for us to play in. First of all, there was this very big barrel, a horizontal barrel, like going this way around, made of very, very heavy concrete. I don't know what we were supposed to do in there. It was like very spooky when you're 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years old to go in there. We'd make sounds and run out or something like that. I did notice that some of the older children, maybe getting into the young teens, sometimes you go there and you catch a boy and a girl making out in the barrel, getting the first taste of the birds and the bees. Then there was a hopscotch court. Now, hopscotch is a game I think girls excelled in, or it was supposed to be for girls, but I happen to love it. You have to hop through a maze of like circles and squares and triangles, hop on one leg all the way through it, then all the way back without touching any of the edges. And if you did that, you won. And I was very, very good at that. I used to love that. Then in this area, we had the corral. Now, I never understood what a horse corral is doing in the middle of this children's play yard. Inside there was like a maze. You can follow it around and go in different directions. I never understood the purpose of it, but how I used it was I would try to walk around the whole circumference on the wooden plank, which is very, very narrow. So it was a great feat to walk all around. Not easy, and sometimes we'd fall. And we'd fall right on the concrete. Like there was no safety standards in those days. It would not be allowed in modern times. But you risked your health when you did that. And last but not least were the monkey bars. And again, think how dangerous children playing high up, and if you fell, it was right smack on the concrete. And that happened to me one time. And actually, once I severely hurt myself. See how much better would it have been if we could play on the grass. But as time went on, we started to get daring. And it was sort of like a rite of passage to run onto the grass. And if the maintenance men come, we would run away and they would chase us. And it was like a lot of fun for us. We'd run up to our apartments. And sometimes we would get there and we would play ball in the grass and things like that, play games. One of us would be on the lookout for the maintenance men. If they would come, we would just dash off and run away. But there was always a danger of getting caught. And once I got caught by the maintenance men, and they wanted to give a fine to my parents, $5, which that's a lot of money in those days, in the early 1950s. But I don't have any ID, so they asked me my name, and I made an alias, Jackie Goldstone, apartment 4E on 359 Wortman Avenue. Actually, there was a Jackie Goldstone there. See, he was a boy, you looked at him and he was a victim. He had a big V on his chest for victim. Everyone picked on him, everyone made fun of him. Actually, he was a very nice guy. In fact, I liked him. His hobby was stamps, and so was mine. And sometimes we would play together like that. But anyway, so I saved my parents a fine and said Jackie Goldstone. But the thing is, the word spread, and throughout many boys in the projects, when they were caught, everyone would say, I'm Jackie Goldstone. And then I remember one time the maintenance men caught a group of us on the lawn, and they just said to us, they laughed and said, I know, you're all Jackie Goldstone, right? Yeah. And we ran away laughing. So those were the fun days in the projects. I want to go back, even when I was another incident I had with the maintenance men. I was about 4 years old. I was up with my mom in our apartment, and I couldn't understand that my mom had a big problem then. She had tremendous migraine headaches. Obviously, they would come and they would go. And when she had those migraine headaches, she couldn't stand any noise. But I'm a 4-year-old kid. I can't understand that. So I'm running around the house making noise, and I have my little toy fire engine, and I'm running around and doing what kids do, making noise and having fun. But my mom was in such pain, she just ordered me, get out of the house. And I said, Mom, where should I go? And she said, I don't care where, just get lost. And I said, Mom, where should I go? And she said, go to China, just get out of the house. Well, I was 4 years old, but actually I knew a little bit of geography then. We had this round globe of the world. So I went to the globe, and I found America, and I searched the globe, and I found China. Now, America was on one side of the globe. China was on the other side of the globe. So a plan brewed in my mind. If I could dig a hole through the earth, I could go to China. So I got my trusty shovel, little toy shovel, it was pretty sturdy for a toy shovel, like a small shovel. And I went downstairs. I went out, and I just with the entrance of 359 Wortman Avenue, there's a little area with grass and some trees and some bushes near the entrance. I said, well, I might as well start digging. I had a mission, dig a hole to China. So I started digging, and I was digging for a half an hour. A neighbor came by and said, Mitchell, what are you doing? And I said, my mommy told me to get lost. And I was digging some more, and another neighbor came by later. Mitchell, what are you doing? I'm digging a hole to China. My mommy told me to go to China. And as time went on, rather than get tired, I got more and more into the project. I put my whole heart, my might, and my soul. And I was actually digging with my hands and with the shovel, and I made a hole about 1 foot deep. And then it was even deeper. I could stand in this hole, and I was making progress, and I was going in it like a mad little kid. I gotta get to China, going deeper and deeper, making this giant hole. And then there was a tap on my shoulders, and I turned around, and who was there? Yes, it was the boogeyman, the maintenance man. Whoa, I'm in big trouble. But actually, this maintenance man, he was very gentle and very calm, and he just said, young lad, I think it's getting dark soon. I think it's about time for you to go up and go home to your mommy. So I said, okay. So I went upstairs and determined to come back the next day and continue digging to China. So I came home, and I think I probably mentioned to my mom I started digging a hole to China. And the next day I came out to continue my work, and lo and behold, I saw like a small tree or a small shrub was planted in that very hole that I had dug. And so no more opportunity to dig. But I'm very proud that in that very place, if you go to 359 Wortman Avenue, there must be some shrub or some tree there growing there. And those people who are living there now don't know it, but I was the one who dug the hole. 4-year-old Mitchell dug the hole to go to China. And just based on the story, just some points come to my mind that, when a child is 4 years old, he's very genuine, he's very sensitive, and a child will look you right in the eye and tell you what they think. They're very frank at that age. And also, there's something of a nature. Sometimes you have to be careful, because when you tell them something, they'll do exactly what you say. And finally, love your children, love your child. Be careful how you speak to them. Be careful what you say to them. Most importantly, be careful how you say it. Good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the story. Bye-bye.